What's up? What's up, boys and girls? Ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Give me one sec here, guys. I forgot I had to buy something on the internet real quickly. Send. Alright, hold on. Sorry, bear with me, bear with me. Enjoy the music for a bit while I... What's up to Sean and Makorto? Is that how I pronounce that? What's up? Thanks for subscribing. Alright, I got it. Alright. Sorry about that. This is actually maybe a topic of a future stream. A deal showed up last night on the Cloudy Nights forums. Classified ads for a laser and Cheshire collimation instruments for collimating Newtonian telescopes. Pretty good deal, and I've been looking to upgrade those tools for a while, and I sent the guy an email message last night. He got back to me this morning, and I forgot to send him a payment, so I want to make sure I get that going, so you know, I can snag those items. Anyways, I just remembered that like 2 minutes to go before starting the stream. So yeah, today gonna do some live Astro. Looks like a really good forecast. After 7, which is basically when it gets, you know, fully dark, it's like a very good forecast evening. All night. Also have basically a full moon, which kind of sucks. But we'll shoot HA, and we'll get some good data. I've been working on the Spaghetti Nebula, a new target for me. Or I guess I should say a portion of the Spaghetti Nebula. And we'll kind of go over that, too, why I'm doing that. So we got a lot of time before it gets dark. And that's why I started the stream at the time that I did. Because I want to spend some time going over my approach to imaging sequences in Nina. There's been some discussion on it on the Discord server, which is great. And I just kind of want to show my method. I'm not showing you how to do it. I'm far from an expert, but this is how I've been doing it for the last, well, almost a year now. I guess around a year, maybe a little more than a year now. You know, but it changes a little bit with the equipment. And yeah, we'll talk about some of the reasons why Nina is so great. Being a tool, and there's really no it's a tool, and it's really a sandbox that lets you use the tools the way you want to use them, and that's really awesome, rather than trying to like force you know, down this path. You know, especially because with astrophotography, everybody's rig can be so different, everybody's skies, everybody's horizon. So, you know, the ability to really customize how you use the tool and how, you know, is really powerful. That makes it a bit more wide open and more difficult, maybe, but it's really not too bad, I think. And I think the main key is just to not overthink it. So that's what we'll do. So we're gonna talk about that. We've got like an hour until it's really dark enough to get the telescope set up. So we have plenty of time for that. If you guys have questions, throw them in the chat, and we'll just kind of go through it. I realize probably some of the people in the Discord that we were talking about this with, you know, won't be able to tune into the live stream, but there'll be a recording, you know, on YouTube. So feel free to skip ahead a little bit if you're watching the VOD, I guess is the term that we have to say. Okay, so let's talk about Nina and sequences. How I do sequences. So here is Nina. Let me get that. So you guys probably know Nina. I've connected my gear. All my equipment is connected. I'm set up, and I'm basically ready to go, but my mount is parked, and the camera's cooler is turned off. I won't bother with unparking or enabling the cooler until it's, you know, closer to time to go, right? Imaging time. So, I'll show you. There's a few approaches, but what I'll do is I'm going to start with planning. And it's ironic to say that I'm going to start with planning in regards to your sequences, because I did zero planning in regards to this stream, other than just thinking about it in my head. So I'm definitely going to be, there's going to be a lot of kind of thinking and going back and forth and stuff. Hopefully this will be coherent. So what do I mean by planning? Planning my targets for the night. The targets, the filters, like what, can I have a goal ahead of time? Like what do I want to do? What do I want to accomplish? And so for me, I think, and maybe this should be the case for everybody, is I really want to maximize my dark hours, right? That's your critical time, is when it's dark, right? When you can do imaging, especially if you're in an area that tends to have more weather than I have in SoCal. Your imaging nights may be few and far between, so you really want to make the best of every single dark hour you have available. So you don't want to be fooling around with calibration and focusing and slewing back and forth, and you want to be able to just hit the button, go, and then just start sucking in photons, right? That sounds maybe a little bit off. Okay, so planning. I do most of my planning in Stellarium. I have Stellarium loaded here, and my Stellarium is, the way I have it looking is, it might look a little bit funny. Yes, I was specifically thinking about you when I was saying that, Cheap Astro. I sympathize in regards to the precious few imaging dark hours that we have. So I start my planning sessions in Nina. Now you can see this red line around here. I think I can make it a little darker, thicker. Yeah. So this jaggedy red line, it's kind of depressing when I zoom out. This is my artificial horizon. There are tutorials online with how to generate this data and import it. And this is not super accurate for me currently. It's actually all shifted. I need to take the whole thing and rotate it like 30 degrees or something like that. So it's not super accurate, but I kind of know where it is by now. Like I know where it should be. This like triangular spike should be over more, because like it should be really like this edge right here. This is a gap. This U shape here. This is a gap between trees. So this is a tree and this is a tree. This is looking east. Right. So I just know that Orion is in the clear. So this thing, Orion should really be in the gap right there. So you see Orion is there. It should really be over here. So I can still kind of guesstimate it's good enough for what I can do for now. I would like to fix it, and maybe that's a good project for I don't know, a rainy day. Yeah, that's a good project for. You could do that. I mean, you might get wet because you have to go outside, but who cares, right? It's a good project for when you can't do imaging. A cloudy day. Let's put it that way. There'll be plenty of those coming up. You have a tutorial for that. Awesome. I need to check it out because I tried to get a panoramic photo. That's the reason you don't see a background. I couldn't get that to work. For some reason, I couldn't get, like I followed a couple tutorials. I couldn't get the panorama photo to show in Stellarium. I don't know why not. So I have the elevation data. That's what's most important. I couldn't get the photo. So I'll check it out. Check out Cheap Astro over on YouTube, guys. And what's up, Autopilot 190? Welcome. Okay, so here's my artificial horizon, and it's pretty limiting. You can see, but I still get a lot done. You can, and if you're in the Discord, you'll see I get a lot. I can make the most of it. Partially because I'm using great sequences in Nina. Okay, so typically you'll have hey, what's up, Splashy? I'm good. Mazif, 12 months. He just subbed for 12 months in a row. That's a full year. That's really awesome. Thank you, Mazif. Welcome. And Mazif may have some pointers when it comes to sequences, probably that I don't know, which would be really cool. We could talk about those maybe a little later. Thank you, Mazif. You're awesome. Okay, so typically what happens is you'll have a first half of the night target and a second half of the night target, something like that, right? Unless it's a target that goes, unless you're shooting something that just happens to, go right up over zenith, and it's, in the perfect spot in the east as it's rising, and you can just image it all night. I think there's kind of a rare few targets that are like that, where you can get one target literally all night, maybe in the summertime when the nights are shorter. So, but typically, at least I find I'm looking for at least two targets, a early part of the night target, second part of the night target. So I can bring up the date and time window here in Nina. How do I set latitude and longitude for my on-step properties setting? The best way to do that, Splashy, is with the app on your phone, because the app has your can get your location data, and it'll just, from your GPS on your phone, and we'll just send that right to OnStep using the app on your phone. Okay, so first, so targets. So tonight I'm gonna be shooting a portion of the Spaghetti Nebula. This is data from the first night, which is pretty cool for one night, actually. I think it's a pretty dim target, so. And the Spaghetti Nebula, I know, is up here. So Stellarium's pretty good it's got a pretty good, view of deep sky objects, and you can change how this looks. And there's some other background sky catalog surveys and things, but, so I can see, sometimes I'll just scroll around in Stellarium and go, what do I want to shoot? Like, oh yeah, the rosette's there, and that's the, the cone, nebula. So, just play around in Stellarium. But for some reason, the Spaghetti Nebula here, it has an image. There's a few objects like this where it shows the object, but not what the name of the object is. So sometimes I'll find things I don't know what it is. This I happen to know what it is. So there's the Spaghetti Nebula. And another thing I can do is I have in Stellarium, you can set up your rig. Basically, you can specify the focal length of your telescope and your image sensor size, and then it will generate these cool boxes. So this is my field of view, this red box here. And so if I zoom in on a target, I can see. Wait, let me make sure that actually is A1. Yes. IMX 585. Yep. It's a lot of hydrogen alpha. Yes, sir. So you can just kind of scroll around with this to, to plan your field of view, particularly since look at how much larger the Spaghetti Nebula is here than my field of view. So if I wanted to image the whole thing, I would have to do an insane mosaic, which would be, there's not enough hours to do that. Or I would have to, have a shorter focal length scope or a larger image sensor. So, but that's cool, because I'm shooting this portion of it right here. And there's like some really cool oxygen 3 in this area too that you don't see in this image. So I'm just getting what I think is probably the most interesting portion of it. But in any case, what I can do is I'll double click on just one of these stars, so we'll lock the field of view, or we'll lock the view on that star. And now I can play with the time. So I'll move the time to 1800, which is 6 o'clock, and it actually doesn't get dark until 1900, which is 7 o'clock. Whoops, I don't want to scroll there. Yeah. And this target gets pretty close to the zenith, actually up pretty high, which is great. I guess I didn't realize that. So, okay, that's where it's at when I'm going to start shooting. Yeah, and it's like right on the meridian. That's right. That makes sense. So then what I'll do is I'll fast forward the clock. So 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. And notice now, here's where I'm getting to my horizon. So that means I can pretty much only shoot this target until 2300, which is 11 o'clock. So now I need to switch to my second target. So I've got this one sort of in my mind. And actually what I'll do is I'll go over to Nina right now, and I'll go to the Sky Atlas, and I know, let's see, I don't know the, Nina doesn't have it as, I'm gonna get the target in Nina, but I gotta look up the name. Nina doesn't have it as Spaghetti Nebula in there, so I gotta find the name. No mosaics, Star Traveler. Welcome, by the way. It's Simius? I hate pronouncing words. Simeis. Simius? 147. I guess there's an LBN catalog. There's a few catalogs there. Okay, so I'm searching for it in the Sky Atlas. Oh, let me get, yeah, full screen Nina. So then I can say set for framing assistant. So this is where I actually do my actual framing, is here in Nina. And I use the offline sky map. And this thing kind of sucks sometimes, but it does allow you to drag this around, and then I can change the rotation. So I can pick my framing and then say add to sequence and sequencer, basic sequencer target. But I'm not going to do that yet because I'm going to throw you guys a curveball. And so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to look for my second part of the night target. And so, yeah, so I know I can only shoot this until about 11 o'clock, 2300. Let me close. I'm going back to Stellarium now. And let's see. So now my options start to get really limited because we're approaching galaxy season. And, you know, the Rosette Nebula is available for like a half an hour. And Seagull Nebula, only a little bit. Thor's Helmet, I have a great shot of that. Only a little bit of time left. So I really need something over here. And I'll just tell you, I'm going to do the Leo triplet because that's what I've been shooting. But this is where it kind of gets interesting. This is a thought process here. The Leo triplet has a very specific camera rotation angle that I want to hit. You can see the way it fits my image sensor's field of view here. There's really only a specific rotation that will give me all three galaxies in here. And because I want to shoot HA, right? I want to shoot the HA for these galaxies. So I really need to plan my my first target, my beginning of the night target, around the rotation angle of my second part of the night target, because I don't want to get up at 11 o'clock at night and rotate the camera. I don't have an automatic rotator. If I had an automatic rotator, it would be a no-brainer. I could just do it. It'd be really easy. So I'm a little bit more limited, but that's okay. So I really want Leo triplet, which one of these galaxies is M66. So now I'm going to go back to Nina. I gotta bring, no, yeah, that one, there it is. So I'm gonna go back to Nina and to the Sky Atlas, and now I'm gonna search for M66. So it kind of just got Spaghetti Nebula in the background. Yeah, an automatic rotator would be cool, and I don't want to do an auto rotator because I want to keep the rig more simple. I don't want more gear, more cables to plug, more things to not work, more things in the image train. But also, if I had an automatic rotator, I would definitely need a more robust focuser. The focuser I have kind of just barely handles the weight of my camera since I've added the off-axis guider. So it's like I get the rotator, now I got to get a new focuser. It's the Astro Photography snowball. So I'll just stick with this sort of advanced planning and keeping the rig more simple. Now, if I had my rig like in a remote observatory, then yeah, right? Okay, so now I'm in Nina and I'm looking for the Leo triplet. And so I'm using the offline sky map, and it does this really annoying thing where it loads the background, the image, everything except for like what I want to see. See how it's like grayed out? I don't know why it does that. If anybody knows, let me know. Like, look, it loads everything around. I don't know. So, and Splashy, I'm happy to get to your questions, but I'm gonna go over the sequencing stuff first. So if you can hang around, you know, we can talk about that stuff. We can talk about that stuff later. So. Yeah, is weight on the mount is kind of a thing too. I could probably handle a bit more weight, but the focuser is just yeah, the focuser is not going to be up for it. So I'd have to get a new focuser, which I was kind of looking at doing anyways. But yeah, I just want to keep it simple. It's working good. Yeah. Okay, so here's the Leo triplet. You can at least see the 3 galaxies there, and you can see this camera rotation angle is not going to work. So I'm gonna pick you know, rotation angle that works. I think I was at, looks like I want to be at 130 degrees. Something like that, right? I think I was at let me just hold on, let me load my, I already have this sequence made. I'm just gonna load it and to see. Oh, I did 115 degrees. Yeah. Okay. Can I close? I guess I can just. Yeah. I can just load it again, right? All right. Sorry. Give me a sec. Yeah. Okay. I'm trying to recreate the sequence that I already have. So it was 115 degrees that this is what I had. Yeah. So, okay. So I picked my framing for Leo triplet. And once you pick your framing, then you add target to sequence. Click on that. I don't click the down arrow. And then I'm not using the legacy sequencer. We're using the regular advanced sequencer. And I'm going to choose a basic sequencer target. These are other templates that are set up, and I have an LD. You see, I have LDN 1630 and M81 there. I don't know why. I was kind of playing around with templates. Ignore those. This is the basic sequencer target that comes with Nina, and this I find is fine. I could save myself some time if I modified this and then saved it, but I don't. It's kind of weird how templates work in here. So that I kind of started playing with and didn't quite get there. So this is my workflow and it works for me. So so it loads the template. Here's the sequence. First thing I do is I don't need any of these annotations because I know what things do. I just delete all these annotations. And then I look down here, you know, my rotation is set, target, and here you can see the target's availability. plot, and the green line, jagged green line here is also my artificial horizon, which I've imported the same data into Nina that I have in Stellarium, but it's also not that accurate. So it's not right in both places, but I know enough to know what I can do. It's more accurate in Stellarium, so I can make it work. I can work with it, but it could be improved. So just leaving a lot of these instructions the same. Slew center and rotate, autofocus and start guiding. Yep, we want all those. And then we come down to the target imaging instructions and the triggers. Hey, what's up, Steve? You gave up on the advanced sequencer. Well, don't give up on the advanced sequencer. Hopefully I can help you, because the advanced sequencer is awesome. And I think the trick is to just keep it simple. Don't overthink it. Just some guys make it really complicated. So if you want tutorials that are probably more detailed than what I can do, and I'm just kind of ad-libbing, there's Patriot Astro on YouTube. He has some very good tutorials, and he has some templates, some advanced sequencer templates you can download and use his. I tried them. I don't like them. I think they're too complex. I think he's like, I think they're too complex, but you know, his rig and his sky, his environment is different from mine. So what's great about Nina is it's this sandbox that you can use it the way you want to use it. It makes sense for you to use. So so Patriot Astro's videos are a good way to learn about how these things work, but I don't like them. I don't use them. So yeah, you gotta kind of like just stick with it, you know, like just stick with it. Okay, so instructions: slew center and rotate. That'll give me my camera rotation that I want. Run autofocus. We want autofocus. Start guiding. Okay. Triggers. So one of the triggers, I'm going to delete autofocus after filter change. I'm deleting that because I'm using filter offsets. If you're not using filter offsets, you might want to leave this on, but then your sequencer is going to change a bit. So my sequencer, I'm using filter offsets from my filters. If you're using a one-shot color camera and you're using one filter all night, this won't do anything because you don't have a filter in there. So you could also delete it, but I'm going to delete it because I'm not doing that. Okay, and the autofocus after HFR increase, I leave that at default. That's fine for my setup. And then we get down to the instructions. So the default template here, we have dither for the trigger, dither after exposures. Default of 3 is fine, but I might change it. Then we have loop conditions. So this is where I always loop until a time, right? Because like I said, I do like a beginning of the night and an end of the night target. And so I always loop until time. And this is I'm kind of working in reverse order. This is my end of the night target. And so I'll just look at the available graph here, and if you click and drag the mouse, it will show you when the target goes, you know, when it kind of goes below my horizon, which I know is 430. So I'm going to search. I want to change loop for iterations for a different loop. So I'm going to just search for loop which is underneath my head. Sorry, it's up here. And so I could say loop. I could say loop while altitude above horizon. I've tried that, and it seemed to not work with my artificial horizon very well. So I always just do loop until time. I always do loop until time, and then I'll delete loop for iteration. Actually, there is an occasion where I'll do loop for iteration, but not it's kind of specific. So I saw 430, so I'm going to put 430. And also, it's very important to remember this is always 24-hour time. So if you were like, oh, I want to go to 11:30 and you put 11:30 in there, it'll just stop because 11:30 was in the morning, right? Not, so it's a 24-hour clock. So it's important to remember. Hey, thanks for being here, Cheap Astro. Nina is really, really awesome. A bit of a learning curve for sure, but once you get it, it's the best thing, and it makes astrophotography. It makes astrophotography so much easier, so much more fun. I'm so glad it exists as a thing. So thanks for being here. Peace, brother. Okay, so loop until time. And then the instructions. I'm gonna delete these instructions, and I'm gonna delete this annotation, and I'm gonna use the smart exposure instruction, and I'm just gonna bring this, I'm gonna drag this up to here. It's a little funky when you drag, so you want to make sure that it's, take your time with the dragging in it. You see the little red bit down there, I'm really bad at pointing on the screen. There. Right? Put the smart exposure in there. And tonight I'm only going to shoot HA. So I'm going to do number 1, give it a time, 300 seconds. That's 5 minutes. The type is a light frame. I don't think there's any reason to do anything but light frames in your sequences. If you want to shoot flats, I would say wait till the next morning and then do the flats manually. Don't mess up your sequences. Keep it simple. Just about capturing data, right? That's all I really want to worry about. Binning 1 by 1, gain and offset are the camera defaults. And the filter, I'm going to do HA. And I'm going to say dither every 0 frames, and I'm going to use the dither trigger up here. And I'll do 4. Usually I was doing 3. I changed it to 4, and 4 has been working fine for me. You need to dither your frames. If you don't dither your frames, you'll get walking noise and your images will look terrible. How often you should dither is up for some debate. I was always doing 3 in the past. I recently upped it to 4 and seems fine. I don't know, maybe you can get away with 6 or 10. Probably depends on how many total exposures you have or something. So I don't know, 4 works. The one thing is that every time you dither, you lose a little bit of imaging time, right? Because it has to wait for the guider to settle. And we timed that on a live stream a while ago, and for my rig it was like almost a minute. And so the less dithering, the less time I'm wasting, right? Precious dark hours. So that's it. This is done. This is ready to go. Now, if I was going to shoot multiple filters, all I would have to do is come down to my smart exposure instruction, hit the little 3-dot menu, and then just click this button to duplicate, and I'll duplicate it again. If I was shooting a SHO image, for example, I might change this to H, S, and O, and then what I would do is maybe I would shoot like 4 H frames, 4 S frames, and 4 O frames. This way I'm dithering every time I switch filter. So I'm switching filter and then dithering, and that way I'm kind of doing all that maintenance at the same time, trying to minimize downtime, right? So that's, each level does one specific thing. What do you mean by level? Do you mean like these indentations in the sequence here? So, yeah. Misadventures, thank you for the lurk. So I'm going to delete those because I'm only shooting HA tonight because it's full moon. And in the H alpha tends to cut through the moonlight pretty well. The other filters, if it was really bright, if it was a really bright oxygen signal, it might kind of come through. It still wouldn't be very good. So I'm just shooting HA. Also, this is a galaxy, and I'm just capturing HA on the galaxy. So, no, each level does not necessarily do a specific thing. It's like nested instructions. This is like It's like scripting. It's like visual. It's a visual form of scripting. So, and see, I can twirl these little arrows. Right. So, this is like the most basic, I guess. Yeah, this is like a package, and then inside the package we have the target, and then inside the target we have the basic instructions, and then we have the target imaging instructions. So we have nested instructions, and so each sort of, it's not, I don't think level is the right word. It's kind of like container. I guess if you want to think about it in terms of levels, maybe you can kind of think about it like that. But you can do different. You can do the same types of instructions at different levels, right? You don't necessarily have to do it, but this is like the default template that comes built in with Nina. So just stick with this, right? Keep it simple. This works, right? Because in this container is under my instructions. These are my instruction container. There's a loop condition in here. So it's going to do all the instructions inside this container defined by this loop condition. And the loop condition says loop until time 4:30 a.m. So it's going to do all these instructions until 4:30 a.m. So anything that are under instructions, it's going to do that until 4:30 a.m. What is this that you can do that you can't do? I don't know. Probably everything that I'm doing you could do in basic. But I learned how to use the advanced, and there's probably a lot more that you can do. So I never used the basic sequencer. So if you're using a basic sequencer and it works for you, then like, yeah, just go for it. Okay, so that's my second half of the night target. So now I'm going to go back to do my first half of the night target. And so I'm going to look that back up again. SIMEIS. And except for framing assistant. Okay, so now the whole reason I did this like runaround thing where I did the Leo triplet, the second half of the night target before this one, was to set the camera rotation. This is specific to me because I don't have a camera rotator and I don't want to get up in the middle of the night and rotate the camera. So, you can see it remembers 115 degrees that I set for the last target, but I can just kind of double check and make sure that's right. And so now here's the Spaghetti Nebula, and I know this is the region that I wanted to image, just based on viewing other sample images on the internet. I know there's a nice oxygen, relatively strong for the area, a nice O3 signal in here to go along with the HA. So this is the part that I want to shoot. So that's my framing. So I'll add to the sequencer and basic sequencer target. And so when I do that, you'll notice it put it underneath M66 because it adds them in order. But I don't want that because I want to shoot this one first. So what I'm going to do is click the little arrow to twirl it down. Now I just see my two main targets. And then on the right side here, I'll click this arrow, which will move it up so that I've just reordered, right? So I'm going to do Simius? I probably sound like such an asshole every time I try to pronounce things, but whatever. Okay, so there's my Spaghetti Nebula target, and I will delete these annotations. Center and rotate, run auto guiding, run autofocus, start guiding. I'm deleting autofocus after filter change because I'm using filter offsets. I'm deleting these annotations. And okay, now we're gonna do the loop, and I'm gonna change loop for iterations into loop until time. So I'm gonna delete the iterations. And on time, I remember it was 2300 because we saw that in Stellarium. So remember again, this is 24-hour clock, not, so if you put 11, it would just skip right over it. Oh, cool. I am in Southern California. other side of the country from you. How's your skies over there in New Jersey? Probably pretty light polluted. Probably pretty light polluted everywhere in New Jersey, I would guess. Yeah, 25 miles south of New York City. So yeah, never mind. Read the whole sentence, Dave. Okay, so then I'm not switching filters, and I'm going to delete that. I'm going to delete the annotation, and I'm going to put the smart exposure in. You can also get the smart exposure from the library if you search for it. And I'm going to just say 1 and 300 seconds, and filter HA, because I'm only going to shoot HA. Dither every 0, and I'm going to set this dither to 4. This is a pretty simple one. This sequence is basically set, except for I'm actually going to tweak one thing. So this is ready to go. But I'm going to come back down here to M66, and notice I have under instructions I have slew, center, and rotate. I'm actually going to just change that to slew and center, so it doesn't try to rotate. I've had instances where when it does slew, center, and rotate, even though the rotation angle should be set, it could still not. It could think it's not accurate enough, because you can set the accuracy and the rotation in your plate solves, and if you're off on that by a little bit on the first target, but within the tolerance, when you go to the second target, you might be off enough that it'll trigger the rotate, and then I'll just be sleeping away, and the sequence will just sit there waiting for me to rotate the camera, and that'll ruin a night of imaging. So I'd rather have it be the rotation be off by a little bit than lose a whole night. Oh yes, Mr. Cat. Hello, Cat. All right. The cat wanted to come and say hi. Okay, so that's why I changed that to slew and center. Okay, so my 2 targets are set. Then there's the last thing that I do is I set up my sequence end procedure. Because when I'm done imaging at the end of the night, there's a few things that I want to do to help safeguard the scope. First thing is park the scope. So I'll just search for park and add this down here. So when I'm done shooting M66, I want the scope to park. And I'm gonna change the filter. So I search for filter and I go switch filter. I actually want to do that first. And I'm gonna set that to dark. I don't know if this really does anything, but in my mind, I'm like, let's put the dark filter in front of the sensor, because if something happened to the camera, maybe that would help protect the image sensor. I don't know. But it just seems like a good idea to me to always put since the sequencer can do it, just put the dark filter in front of the image sensor. Help protect the filter and protect the filters and the sensor, right? Because the dark filter is literally just a black piece of plastic. And the last thing I want to do is warm the camera. Which I'm pretty sure just means turn off the cooler. I don't actually want to warm the camera. I just want to turn the cooler off, because there's no reason to run the cooler, in the morning when I'm not imaging. I don't know if it can wear out, but if I'm out camping, there's actually one more thing. If I'm out camping, then there's a plugin for shut down the PC. So that'll be the last thing. So if I'm out camping and I'm on battery power, I want to turn all this stuff off, warm the camera, and shut down the PC, so I'm not wasting battery while I'm sleeping in the morning, right? Check the Meg. Thank you so much for the subscription. Another 12-month subscriber. Wow. Dang, a couple of you guys have been around for a year. That's awesome. You guys are great. Thanks, brother. Ooh, fossil hunting. Yeah, that's the place to do it. But I'm not going to shut down the PC because I'm at home. I'm at AC powered. I don't really care. And plus, when I get up in the morning, the first thing I do is transfer my data from the Astro PC to my main PC. And I just do that while it's sitting outside. Okay, that's it. That is Dave's basic guide for setting up sequences in Nina. Hopefully that makes sense and is helpful. These are really simplified cases, and it's just using one filter. You can get more complex with it. But if I'm going to do more filters, all I have to do is just copy my smart, like I showed you, copy the smart exposure instruction and just add filters. Partially it's simplified because I have a filter wheel and I'm using filter offsets. So I'm actually going to just delete this sequencer run and load my sequencer from the other nights, which looks identical, but except for the framing might be a bit different. So I want to make sure I have the same framing, right? So, so that's my technique. That's what works for me. Hopefully you guys found that helpful. If you're watching a replay on YouTube, hit up the comments if you have questions. Check the Discord. Link pinned at the top in the chat to the Discord, and happy to try and answer questions in there if we can. Yeah, I think that's about all I have. 420 grams, bro, yeah. Wanderer Astro Rotator Mini V2. Let's take a look at this thing. You just want me to spend money. They do have it on a Gina Astro. $400. That looks pretty sleek and small, doesn't it? Dang, $400 is pretty pricey for that, though. Let's take a look. Everything you need to know. Still got a few minutes before it's dark enough to do any telescoping.
Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. In this video I'm going to tell you about a new camera angle rotator for a telescope. As a part of my collaboration with the Wanderer Astro, they sent me this rotator to test, and I'm here to make this video review with my first impressions and experience after using this rotator for a little over than a couple of months now. So I must say right away that this rotator surprised me in a good way, considering its low price compared to different rotators that are available on the market.
Thank you, Steve.
So if you guys curious about what makes this rotator unique, how it integrates into an imaging setup, and whether it's the right tool for you or not, then please consider watching this video. The Wanderer Astro Rotator Mini version 2 is a high-precision field rotator designed to remotely adjust your camera's orientation. It is an essential tool for remote astrophotographers who want to achieve perfect framing without an opportunity to be at the telescope, as well as for backyard astrophotographers who seek flexibility when imaging multiple targets in a single session. At first glance, the Wanderer Astro Rotator looks similar to other brands that are available on the market. It is a compact plate with two M54 female threads on both sides. One side doesn't have any movable elements, and it connects to the telescope's focuser over here, and the other side attaches to the camera. The rotator itself has two ports. One is a USB 2.0 port for PC connection, and the other one is a DC port for stable power, ensuring reliable operation without power limitations. Now let's cover all the features that this rotator has. The first feature is
a manual rotator on the scope with a GT2 profile, so you can add an EAF or something similar. Sounds like you're trying to kill the big rotator industry, Chegg. Yeah, that maybe could be a thing. I think that mechanically the focuser draw tube starts to get really complicated when you try to do that. You have to have two things that can rotate and stay concentric and not have light leaks or wobble in the draw tube. And maybe on a refractor that's kind of less of an issue. than on like a Newtonian or reflector style draw tube.
Accuracy and rotation resolution. I posted on the screen the exact specs, and as you can see, we got way too much precision rotator, which is kilogram. Sure, that important.
Yeah, we don't
However,
really care.
it's
Oh,
still
that's
worth
cool. See it in
distance
action.
increases, then payload capacity drops, of course. I don't think the next feature that important. However,
I think
it's
this
still
could
worth
be
to
a
mention.
little bit dangerous,
So the
kind of on
rotator
my rig too.
achieves a rotation rate of 4.5 degrees per second.
Because I have the off-axis guider sticking out of there. So if I rotated it too far, that could collide with something, collide with the mount or something like that. So they do make rotating focusers. We were looking at one of those. I can't remember if it was a Moonlight focuser or somebody else's focuser that was like, I was trying to figure out how the mechanism worked on that. How did that like? And I was totally baffled. Like it was really, yeah, kind of baffling. I had no idea. So it looked pretty sleek. Yeah, it looks cool. I don't want one. I mean, I want one. I want the capability, but I want the capability. I don't want the complexity. Let's put it that way. I keep it simple, stupid, and I think is a good rule to live by. So, with astrophotography, it is time to get the telescope up and running. Now I say that, and it's probably the kind of thing that's like, I say that, I'm like, I don't need it, and then you get it, and then I'll be like, oh my God, how did I ever live without it? Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think my friend Dan has one of those. I know he has a rotator. I'm not sure which brand it is, but yeah. Yeah, I feel you, Chegg. Since I got a 16:9 sensor, the rotation is pretty critical, and mosaics are so hard. I really don't like processing mosaics. So, hey, thank you for being here, Makorto. Thank you. Had the audio turned up so we could hear the. Your next is gonna fit. Okay, so a filter wheel is something that definitely you need it for sure. If you got a mono camera, then for sure. And that was one of the reasons why I love the idea of the Minicam 8, because the filter wheel is built in, so you get the functionality of the filter wheel without the complexity, right? You see what I'm saying? Like, so if it had a camera that had a filter wheel and a rotator built in, like if they could rotate the image sensor inside of the camera, that would be the, right? Filter wheel, image sensor can rotate inside the camera, so you have a built-in rotator. Come on, give me your money. I mean, take my money. You can give me your money, and then I will give it to them to give me the camera. Okay, so I manually slewed the scope into polar alignment position. And we'll change the filter to luminance. It might be beer time pretty soon. Maybe we'll crack a beer, stack some HA images. Once we get... I had a weird anomaly last night with the rig. Way out of focus. That's fine. We'll just run the autofocus. Weird anomaly, some really weird, like I'm not sure what happened. I got some really long streaks in the stars. Something weird was going on. I bet, especially where you're at in the wintertime, huh, Star Traveler? I don't know, Chegg. Maybe it is a lot of complexity. argon purge or something to prevent a chamber. Yeah. I don't know. That sounds a little bit too sophisticated. Like, I know there's like a piece of... There's something over the top of covering the sensor, right? It's not just like literally the sensor exposed. There's a filter, even if it's just a clear filter on top of it. But I just would assume that's like glued on or something. So... But even if they add that complexity, the complexity would be inside the camera. So it's only, when I'm talking about I'm talking about like the complexity of like your whole rig assembly, right? So, you know, like how many things I have to screw together and how many cables I have to run, right? How many cables I have to plug in, right? And we all know USB cables aren't super reliable, right? So like, there's a chance that something comes unplugged, or, you know, now I gotta switch a cable out. Okay, now we're in focused, and so now we will do the 3-point polar alignment, and this is the part where I got to get up. So, can I get the security camera up? Come on, where is that? There it is. Oh. Oh. Well, I can't really... I think I have that... I thought I had that. Oh, I thought I had that so you could see it, but maybe next time. Okay, where are we at? Where are we at? How close did I get it? Oh, moved down 5 minutes. Okay, so I'll be up doing this. You guys just talk amongst yourselves. That'll do. Auto polar alignment becoming mainstream. Yeah, that would be nice. Since I have to do that every time I get the scope out, that's probably like the one you know, auto feature that I would really like. Yeah. Yeah, I feel you on that. So, I mean, I don't know if you just saw how quickly I did that. Like, I got the procedure pretty well down. So it doesn't really bother me. I mean, how long did that take me? How long was I gone for, right? Like 5 minutes max. But still, just set the scope out there and hit a button. And there's some guys working on that. What's that company, ASSTRO? There's a Vietnamese guy, ASSTRO. These guys. Yeah, ASSTRO, yeah. Yeah, and I've seen other people working on that as well. So like the software is there, and like the Nina integration for the software is there. Yeah, just the hardware is kind of not there yet. So yeah, that would be a real big, I don't want to say game changer, but maybe. Yeah. But I'm polar aligned, so yeah, it doesn't really bother me. It wouldn't be worth spending like thousands of dollars on a new mount for me, but you know. Okay, I'm ready to start because I have my sequence all set up. It's not even fully dark yet, but whatever. I just roll with it. So we will hit start button. Imaging. And while this is getting going, I'm gonna go take a piss and get a beer. I got some thoughts on that. ASSTRO is making a wedge you can put your existing mount onto. Well, there you go. That sounds cool. I gotta rotate the camera 17.28 degrees anti-clockwise. I'll be right back. Yeah, that may be worth checking out. Five degrees anti-clockwise. Nope, I overshot it. Mount uses the tripod as the anchor for its AZ bolt. You mean the bolt that the azimuth adjustment pushes against? So you can adjust the rotation? Oh, damn it. Fuck, I was just thinking about this. Yeah, so see, I just got a totally black image. My camera just fucked off on me. Yeah, I just got an error, USB device not recognized. And look at my sensor temp. It's like 429 million degrees Celsius right now. Yeah, the camera just... I've seen this happen a few times with this camera. A few times in the middle of an image session. It kind of worries me that my camera's gonna be fucking dead. And the fix just seems to shut everything down and restart it. So I'm gonna have to do that. I'll be right back. Except I forgot to park it before I shut the... So I'll use the OnStep app. Hopefully that won't give me a thing. Yeah. It's the QHY Minicam 8. Yeah, it just like... I don't know if it's like the cooler power or something, but like it just... Yeah, it just like completely fucks off. And... Yeah, I've had this happen a few times. I mean, not that often because I use it very often, right? So, but it is a little worrying, and it has ruined. Maybe not completely ruined an image session, but it has definitely cost me some imaging time, right? But everything is, I'm set up and polar aligned, and the camera should be rotated. So when I power cycle, I shouldn't have to do any new adjustment. We can always figure out how to mount shit, Chag. Don't worry. Don't you worry about that. So another thing that happens, and I hope this isn't related to the camera being weird, is a lot of times when I'm just at home, I'll just have my flip-flops on. You know what flip-flops look like. And I only wear socks and flip-flops when I'm at home. Never out in public. But like when I get up from my computer, I don't know if it's the rug or just my floor, but like I build up, you know, it's like 5 steps, maybe 10 steps to the telescope, or 5 steps over to the kitchen. And it builds up insane static electricity like every time I get up. Probably when it's hot and dry weather like it is right now. And snap, like. So I literally just went to go touch the camera, and then I like, and it's dark out there, so I could see the spark, like snap, like static electricity right on the side of the camera. I mean, that was on the you know, the round part of the filter wheel, so hopefully pretty far away from any delicate electronics. But I'm like, oh shit, I am fucking statically shocking the fuck out of this thing every now and then. Okay, it just reconnected just fine, so. Yeah, hopefully that's not related. But I'll do it to like my cat. Like I'll get up and I'll walk over there and I go pet the cat and then just like bam, right on the poor cat's face, gets static electricity shock. Sorry, cat. Yeah, no, I don't think so. It came back on. It came right back on just fine, like it does. So. And it seems to be reporting the temperature and power correctly. So. Okay, it gives me an image. I try to touch something metal and like the tripod leg. Like I always try to touch it and like sometimes I forget, you know? Yes, hello, cat. What does he want? Yeah. Okay, now I reload my sequence. And let's see, did I unpark the mount? I did unpark the mount. So I should just be able to hit start. And we'll see if I got the rotation right. And let's see about the cooling. Yep, we're at the temperature. All right, cheers, cheers, brothers. Got it at Lagunitas. I haven't had a beer in a while. I'm not really losing any time because it's not even really fully dark yet. But it is a really gorgeous night. It's a really beautiful night out tonight. Hopefully you guys have clear skies where you guys are. You guys, do you guys have clear skies where you're at? Or do you have to live vicariously through me? Oh man, look at that. 0.79 degrees clockwise. I just did it again, not to the camera, but the static electricity on the screen door. Snap! Ow! It must be the flip-flops on the rug. Cloudy there. That sucks, brother. Clouds and more clouds. A hell winter. Where are you at, autopilot? Roughly in the world. Sorry that you're having a hell winter. Ah, yeah, clouds and fog. Yeah. Yeah, Bay Area is really unique and interesting weather in that whole area, isn't it? Yeah, Mr. Cat, what is the cat doing? Ooh. Yeah, you guys have real no fuck around, no bullshit winter up there, huh? Alberta, Canada, is that west or east part of Canada? I gotta look at a map because I don't know my Canadian provinces that well. Oh, okay, not quite fully. You're right next door to British Columbia, so not full West Coast, but West-ish coast. Probably up there near somewhere near Calgary or Edmonton, huh? And, Banff is someplace I really want to visit one of these days. Not in the wintertime. Not in the winter. In the summertime. I definitely want to go to Banff someday. It looks absolutely gorgeous up there. I've seen the pictures. That ski town. The kind of stereotypical view of there's like a road going down north of Montana. Yeah, there's like a road going to downtown through downtown Banff with the mountain in the background there. And oh, we're gonna meridian flip right away. Okay, because I just started on the other side, but whatever. Yeah, north of Montana. Yeah, and then you got Saskatchewan next to that, and then Manitoba, then Ontario. So I've been to Toronto. That's the limit of my Canadian experience. Okay, I'm gonna get PixInsight rolling, and I'm gonna stack the data that I've accumulated so far on this target, which is only 2 nights, and we'll see what 2 nights of data looks like. The first night, this is gonna be kind of interesting because this might be kind of a mess because the first night that I shot this, there was some clouds, some kind of passing clouds, high wispy clouds, and the second night there was a lot of moonlight. So gradients are going to be a thing. But I think this could be a very cool target, and so I definitely want to keep pursuing it. And it's kind of the last emission nebula target that I can shoot for a few months, right? Because we're coming into galaxy season, and there's just nothing, particularly in my part of the sky that I have access to. There's just kind of nothing available. (2x Gaussian). Okay, so I'm stacking 2 nights of data. So this should be it's like 9 hours. So it's a lot of data. Should be enough to get pretty smooth SNR. And then stacking and streaming at the same time is putting a nice crunch on my computer here. The CPU is really getting hammered, and you can see the stuttering in the webcam. I'm streaming, I'm stacking, and I have, music playing in a web browser. A lunar ISS transmit. Ooh. I have not done one of those. I've seen some very cool pics. I haven't tried to do anything with the ISS. Too fleeting, too fast for me for that. This is a real brute of a PC. Yeah, let me show you my task manager. So here's my CPU just absolutely hammered. Look at this. So I have a Ryzen 9 7950X 16 core CPU. And with the stacking, it's like maxed out. But I'm only using like 27% of the memory. It's 64 gigs of memory. Everything's on SSDs. I built this PC. Oh, of course, there's an app, right? There's a website that makes it easier. Yeah, cool. I built this PC. Well, you know, I upgraded components along the way, but I was mostly interested in Microsoft Flight Simulator, which needs CPU and it needs GPU. Didn't lose you guys. Maybe I was flexing too much. Okay, now it said it reconnected successfully. I've never seen that before. We're up and running on the imaging sequence too, right, by the way. Guiding not looking very good currently. That's typical. Typically, I'll see the guiding settle out about an hour or so after darkness. Yeah, I flexed a little bit too much there. I walked a little too close to the sun, didn't I, Chegg? That's what I get for trying to flex. Yeah, the memory shortage thing is just so insane, and it's so insane and it's so infuriating. I'm kind of mostly on board with the yeah, exactly. Yeah. The whole AI thing is such a fucking scam. It's insane. Anyways, here's my data. That's 2 nights of data. It looks okay. Not the sharpest. Definitely a gradient in there. Yeah. Okay, so you want to hear some preach, right? Okay, there's a couple of things. Okay, so if you want me to hear me rant about AI, it's not fucking AI. I wish we could stop calling it AI. It's not AI, right? The reason that the tech companies say AI, right, is because they're selling you a fucking lie. They're selling you this idea of artificial intelligence. It's not. Right? Large language models are cool. They're really good at what they do, and it's really impressive. It's not any type of sentient intelligence. It never will be. It doesn't work that way. That's not what it is. It can be very good tools, but they can also be dumb as fuck. Just today at work, my boss, you know, we use ChatGPT. There's their tools. We use them at work, but they can give you these confident wrong answers. So I wish I could post it. I wish I had I need to like copy paste it. He asked it like, what size hole, you know, do you need to drill in 303 stainless steel to tap 080 threads? Right? So anybody knows about tapping holes, you look up a drill chart. You can find these, usually like tool companies give these away. Like, here's a stare at tool chart. I have these like printed out. That's a really horrible looking website, right? So you look up on here what size tap. So 080, and it tells you the size tap you need to use is a 3/64, which is 0.0469 inches. 047. But in stainless steel, because it's harder, you actually need to up that size tap a little bit because it can't go break the tap. And 080 thread it's literally the smallest tap in metric size, in standard sizes, right? So the chatbot was like, "Oh, you need to drill a 0.07 hole, 70 thousandths, and the major diameter of the thread is 60 thousandths." So a screw, if you guys don't know, has a major and a minor diameter. The minor diameter is like valley of the thread. Thread's like a V, right? So the inside is the minor diameter, the small part, and the major diameter is the tip, right? The major diameter of the screw, the diameter of the screw is 60 thousandths, 0.06 inches. And it's like, you're going to need to drill a 70 thousandths hole. My guy, that's larger than the screw. So the tap will just go, yeah, the tap will go through really easily, but you won't cut any fucking threads. So then I tried Google Gemini. I asked it the same question. It gave me the same bullshit answer. That's a really simple question. Let's just try right now. There's another fun thing that I saw. There's another fun thing I saw somebody do. Questions we should ask one of these chat bots. And okay, so check this out. See, I'm gonna see if it does it. See if it gets it right. So yeah, I think it was actually. I think it was specifically in the case of talking about the tapped hole. It was that the prompt wasn't specific enough, because it was thinking like. It didn't understand the difference because it's not intelligent, right? It's a very good example of how it's not intelligent. Because if you ask that question to anybody with any bit of intelligence, who knows anything about drilling and tapping holes, not everybody does, fine, but like, you know, would know that like if I ask you what size hole do I need to drill for this tap, you're gonna know what I'm asking you is what size hole do I need to drill so that I can cut these threads with a tap. But I think because of the way it was prompted, the chatbot was like, oh, this is the size hole that you need for the tap to fit into it. But you never just put a tap into a hole, like a clearance hole for a tap. Well, you do maybe if you have like, you might have a clearance hole and then a tapped hole below it or something. But so it's partially like a prompt issue, but it's also just so to illustrate how it's not fucking intelligent, dude. These things are just regurgitating information. They do a really good job at it, but they're not intelligent. So let me see. Well, let me ask a question. What's up, bro? I always like to talk to it like that. I need to get the oil changed in my car. The shop is like close. Close, dude. 100 feet at max across the street. It's such a nice and sunny day out. Should I drive over there or just walk it? Sup, bro? Yo, I need to get the oil changed in my car. The shop is close, 100 feet away max, across the street. It's such a nice and sunny day out. Should I drive over there or should I just walk? I need to get the oil changed in my car. Should I drive over there or should I walk over there? Sup? Honestly, if it's a beautiful day and this shop is literally 100 feet away, you're looking at a classic efficiency versus vibes dilemma. Here's the breakdown of why walking is probably the move, even if it feels counterintuitive. The walk it out case. Engine health. Most engine wear occurs during cold starts. Driving 100 feet doesn't give the oil enough time to reach operating temperature or circulate properly. It's essentially all stress of a start with none of the benefit of a drive. The vibes, it's sunny. Soaking up some vitamin D for a 30-second walk beats sitting in the cabin for a 10-second crawl across the street. Logistics, by the time you buckle up, check your mirrors, and pull out, you could have been there at the counter handing over your keys. The drive it case. Convenience. If you have healthy stuff in the car and you're planning to head somewhere else immediately after or the service is done, driving it over is the only way. The handoff. If the shop prefers you pull the car into a specific bay or check-in lane yourself. The verdict. If you aren't carrying something heavy, walk over there. there's more than one chatbot that you ask this question. Try ChatGPT. Try them all. See what answer they give you. Walk over there, drop the keys, tell them where the car is parked, and enjoy the sun. But they're not gonna come pick up my fucking car. Yeah, I've asked this before. It's the same thing. It's kind of a trick question, but it's not a trick question. It's not a trick question because it's an obvious fucking answer to someone with like a third grader level of intelligence. Like maybe you could maybe you could fool a 3-year-old with this question. Like honestly, I would love to ask this question to children at different ages. Like probably because like a 3-year-old, they're pretty stupid. So yeah, right, they might say, "Oh, let's walk," but like, how old? Like a 5-year-old maybe? I don't know, kids. You guys tell me. I don't have kids. I don't. But like, you know what I'm talking about, right? Ask it how to walk a car. Yeah. And this is why you can't buy RAM for your computer now. Because OpenAI, this absolute fucking monstrous scam of a company, they with money they don't have, they bought like all of the entire world's supply of RAM, like the actual wafers, that hasn't even been manufactured yet. They like bought the manufacturing for the RAM and for like the next like year to build data centers that don't exist, that we don't have the power infrastructure to run, so we can get this fucking garbage. Oh, just one more data center, bro. That's all we need, bro. Just one more data center. Please, bro, just one more data center. That's all we just need to throw more money at it. Oh, then we'll have super intelligence, and then no one will ever have to work anymore, and it'll be great. Can you copy paste that in Discord? I can. Maybe we need a new Discord channel for AI fails. How about that? Let's make I'm gonna make a new text channel. I'm gonna call it AI. Oh, I can't add quotes though. And I hate using AI, but whatever. AI fails. Oh, should we check out its sources? Did it hallucinate the sources? Hey, that's why I'm at least I'm polite to it though. Cool, man. Thanks so much for your time. Have a lovely evening, my dude. Yeah. I'm always cool with it. Yeah, I'm not gonna. Yeah, you're right. Just in case. You know, I mean, I have one. Yeah. Anyways, back to the spaghetti nebula. Look at that. Doesn't look that nice. Now, hey, you know what? Now let's use the actual use for large language models, where the technology actually works really good, which is Blur Exterminator. So I just sat there and had a big rant and talk bullshit about, like, so that's what I'm saying, right? Like, these are good tools. The technology has uses, and the AI powered. I mean, look at that. That's so good. I just used Graxpert before, right? So these are Graxpert, Blur Exterminator, Star Exterminator, Noise Exterminator. These are all LLM type processes. So there is good use for them, sure. And we've got some data. Look at this. And the guiding is 0.57. Up and running. And there's AI music playing in the background too, so. Yeah. Exactly. The AI art, and honestly, I feel really conflicted about using the AI, music in the background, because like I feel like that's kind of the most I don't know, destructive kind of no, I can't say that, because someone using like AI to generate internet rage bait, or to falsify political things or whatever, is probably the most harmful use for the use for large language models. But AI art. Star Traveler gave Grok the it's pure I mean, it is, isn't it? Like, I mean, this music is like, honestly, like, this is a banger, right? Like, I'm and as soon as I started putting this as the background music, like every stream I put it on, someone's coming in and like, man, this is cool background vibes, dude, cool. And I'm like, yeah. But then I realized, like, oh, it's just in some fucking AI music. And now I'm like, well, who did they sample? I want to know the artists that they sampled for this music, so that I, because I want, you know what I mean? Like, where did they get this from? Because it's not original, it's not new. So, but then again, you can't use music in the background of your stream, because then it's copyright violation stuff, right? So you have to use like some weird. It's such a weird. It's just kind of a weird area, and background music on like a stream, it's really just kind of filler audio. It's not really, right? It's not really like going to a concert. Like it's music, right? It's not music. It's music. So is AI music? Is that a good place for it? Like, maybe, where you just kind of need like background filler. But never would I like. I don't know, if I was like making a movie or something, and would you use AI art for your movie? I don't know. Yeah. Okay, so Star Traveler, did you give Grok the, you gave it a similar prompt, okay. So Star Traveler says, yo, what's up, Wade? Yeah, exactly. I mean, there is a little bit of a gray area there, Chig. All art is derivative, like Daft Punk sampling and stuff. It's definitely not the same, though. But I mean, it's not the same, but it could be. Like somebody's sampling other people's music. Like, I guess it depends on how much you change what you've sampled, right? And there's some gray area there. There's a bit of, I think there's an area for a discussion there that I'm not nuanced enough in music production to understand. Yeah. Using AI to generate fake songs. Use AI to generate a fake song to sample to make a real song. Yeah. Okay, back to Star Traveler. So he copy pasted my question into Grok, and yeah, so Grok says, yo, sup, Wade? Nice sunny day vibes right now. For real, though. The shop's literally 100 feet away. That's like a 20 to 30 second walk max across the street. Just walk it. Driving would be literally starting the car. Yeah, oil doesn't warm up enough. Yeah. So, yeah, all the large language models get that question wrong. We need to think of some other ways to, like, trick it like that, It's like... to just show that like it's not. Yeah. Anyways, I'm guiding at, it was at 0.45, now it jumped up to 0.49. So we're getting very good guiding tonight, which is good. Yeah, everything is bland and average. Yeah, so this video, it's a video on YouTube. You know, it's 2 hours and 15 minutes long. And I mean, it is kind of repetitive, which makes it fine for background audio, kind of ideal for it. But yeah. Yeah, very nice guiding indeed. Yeah, dude. So I'm very satisfied with the way my mount's performing. This is the mount that I designed and built and has been upgraded several times. I don't know what version it's on now. It's definitely, it's kind of a ship of Theseus kind of mount. Well, not quite, because like some things are the same. Fundamental of the design is the same. But the biggest difference was switching to the off-axis guider. That made such a huge difference, not just in my guiding performance, but just in my overall imaging. My friend Dan, who has a lot of experience imaging with Newtonian telescopes, he swears by off-axis guider, and he's been saying, "Oh, off-axis guider," and I kind of resisted, and finally was like, "All right, I'll give it a try," and it's a huge difference. Not only in the guiding performance being better, but when the guiding performance isn't very good because it's like a poor night, poor seeing or whatever, my stars are still round. Like, I don't think aside from anomalies like a cable snag or whatever, I don't think I ever see non-round stars. I'm throwing away very few subframes because of trailing. Let's put it that way. At 300 seconds. So, and on a good night like tonight, I get sub half arc second guiding performance. So, yeah, I'm very happy. Star Traveler, a follow-up question. Follow-up question. He says, Star Traveler says, "But don't I need to drive the car to change its oil?" Searching the web, 38 results. Nah, dude, you don't need to drive the car over there at all for an oil change, especially since it's literally 100 feet across the street. Most oil change spots expect you to drive the car into the base service area so they can get under it. But if it's insanely close, you can just walk over there with your keys, tell them your car is parked across the street, explain the situation, and ask if they can come get it. Please, somebody make a YouTube video of that. Like, I'm gonna literally park my car across the street, ask this question to ChatGPT, and then walk over to Jiffy Lube and give them the keys and be like, "Yeah, no, it's across the street." They're like, "Oh, just pull up into the bay." And like, no. ChatGPT said I should just walk over here. It's across the street. Here's the key. It says here. Look, see, it says. Sucks that it's proprietary. I guess that only sucks if you don't have the mini cam. You could use a regular off-axis guider with the mini cam. Is that what you're talking about, Chag? I should get a live stack going. Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, dude. Like, I've used ChatGPT at work. mainly to do programming, because I'm totally a programming noob, right? And like setting up Arduino code stuff to program of like a load cell and an LCD screen to give like a readout, and for a test rig that I built at work. I don't think I could have done that without ChatGPT, without an LLM. So, I mean, like, they're good tools, right? Like, it's legitimately good. Like, it's legitimately a good tool. It's legitimately a good thing. But the hype about, like, oh my god, we need to build all these fucking data centers and everything's gonna be fucking AI, and you gotta AI your whole business, and fuck AI in your television and AI in your butt vibrator. Like, no, dude, like, no, it's not that. It's not AI. I really wish they would have come up with an actual name for it. Because LLM, you know, large language model, doesn't have the marketing potential that AI does. So, bro, are you my VPs? I don't know what that means. Yeah, I'd say the biggest kind of downside to the Minicam Chegg is that it is, you know, kind of a proprietary, and I'm the guy that really rallies against, you know, proprietary ecosystem things. The filters are proprietary. You know, I'm pretty sure you could use a generic off-axis guider with it, but the one that they make for it, just the way it mounts to it, makes a lot of sense. So it makes sense to get that one. So I'm usually not really one for that kind of stuff, but like we said earlier, I like the functionality without the complexity, and that's what that gives you. So you really get that. Oh, Chegg posted some Reddit scraping. Oh yeah, that's the one where they talked about using glue. That's kind of old, Chegg. I feel that was like ChatGPT 1.0. I remember that. But yeah, and it's clearly getting it from Reddit. But it's still, it shows the limitation, right? Because it's not intelligent. It's not thinking. It's regurgitating. It's really effectively and efficiently regurgitating. It's not thinking. Yes, that's very true, Misadventures. It definitely sent me on some wrong loops. We have some, they're called smart motors. I hate they use the word smart. From Moog Animatics. Moog smart, something like that. Yeah, yeah. So we have some of these motors. Smart motors. They're just a servo motor that has like the controller built into the motor. So we have some of these at work. They kind of fucking suck. I mean, they're okay. So they have like a proprietary. They suck because they're proprietary. Oh, we're just talking about that again. So we have some of these at work, and so they have this like proprietary coding environment and like scripting environment. And so there's like a scripting environment to make it work, and the script language it's based off of like another language or something. I don't know, but there's like two different versions. There's like an old version and a new version of the scripting language, and they're completely different. It's like C++ versus it's like C++ versus like assembly coding language, right? It's like that much different. And like ChatGPT couldn't understand. Oh, and it depends on which firmware. So like the newer firmware supports the newer, and the older firmware supports the older scripting language. And ChatGPT couldn't understand, like it understood that. I'm like, no, this motor uses the old scripting language. And it's like, oh, okay, I understand it's the old scripting language. Here, use this code. And it spits me out the code that's the new scripting. I'm like, no, that's not the right scripting language. That's not gonna work. So, yeah. One user on Reddit says, kill yourself. Oh, okay. This data looks really cool, by the way. I'm really digging this. This is going to be a nice, this is going to be a neat, like a nice collection of my supernova remnant targets. Reminiscent of the, you know, the Veil Nebula, but more fainter, stuff like this. Pickering's triangle. How many USB ports does my motherboard have? Most have multiple USB headers, typically ranging from 2 or 6. One Reddit user says, kill yourself. That's how many does that? Oh, how many USB ports do you have? Kill yourself. That's thanks. It's helpful. Oh boy. RAM is now $10,000. The environment is fucked because of our data center. Kill yourself. I was just on Reddit today and there was a topic that at least partially got derailed because somebody made a stupid joke, and yeah. Oh, that's interesting. I remember seeing a post about Grok a few months ago where it answered I don't know to a question, and people were making fun of it, but then somebody pointed out that like that was actually a really good response. Because yeah, if it doesn't know the answer, it would be much better if it's just like I don't know, dude, rather than just making some shit up. Because, you know, the confidently incorrect stuff leads you more wrong than not having an answer, right? Yeah, that's a really good one. Yeah, I've had ChatGPT. I've asked it to like give me to like, I've had it hallucinate sources. It's like, here's the sources for this information. Here's the links. All the links are like, you know, 404 dead pages. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Remember when Elon Musk gave a fuck about the environment by making electric cars popular? He's gonna save us all by making electric cars. Now he's running Grok off of fucking. Literally, they have methane turbine gas, methane generators outside of their data center, just pumping, you know, methane exhaust into the air. Oh, you know, yes, we have to have AI, bro. Do you guys know Ben Jordan? YouTuber? If you don't know Ben Jordan, don't you hate it when you accidentally hit the F11 button? Yeah. If you don't know Ben Jordan, check out Ben Jordan's YouTube channel. This guy does like deep dive investigation videos. You know, very good narrator, very entertaining kind of guy to watch and listen to. So he's got this most recent video about data centers behaving like acoustic weapons. So he's been making videos going back a ways. This guy's got some really interesting stuff. He's a musician that does a lot of stuff with experimenting with sound and things. And yeah. So he does stuff with the infrasound, which, as astronomers, we know about infralight, like infrared light, which is just light that our eyeballs can't see, right? We can only see a small bit of the spectrum. Well, it's the same thing with sound, right? We only hear a certain wavelength of the sound spectrum. So infrasound is just any sound that's outside of that we can't hear, right? Like a dog whistle is too high pitched, we can't hear it, but there's lower frequencies that we also can't hear. And so he's done a lot of experiments where he's gone around and he's recorded infrasound and, you know, then like sped it up so that you can hear it. And so like coming out of like AI data centers or other industrial places is like a ton of infrasound. And that can maybe kind of fuck with you. So, yeah. I'm actually like friend of a friend. Oh, okay, cool, yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, so he's made videos about the flock safety cameras. Yeah, he's got a lot of good, a lot of cool stuff on there. So yeah, check out Ben Jordan's channel. Good info on that guy. Yeah. So. Anyways, I don't know. I don't want to just bitch about things, you know. I don't. Oh, did I change the? Whoops. Oh. There it is. Change the webcam on you guys. Yeah, I don't want to just be Mr. Complainy Pants about stuff. But I do want the AI bubble to stop. I don't know if you want it to crash, but yeah, I definitely want that to that craziness to go away. Luckily, I don't need to buy. I'm worried, like, cause like, dude, cause like memory can die, you know, like if the RAM in my the RAM died in my computer. I mean, I guess I got room to spare. I could drop down to 32 gigs and be, still be fine if I had a stick or two die, but like, I don't want to, or graphics cards. If my graphics card dies, you can't buy 4090s anymore. 5090s are like $3,000 or more. If you can even get them. And because you can't get RAM, they're not building video cards. $3,700, $3,800. $3,700. $3,900. $4,000. This was $4,500. Founders Edition, $4,400. Yeah. I mean, yeah, if my graphics card died, $3,500 for a fucking... Yeah. Gamers Nexus did a video on this guy's shop in China where they like desolder the GPUs and they have like a custom board so they can put more VRAM on it. That's pretty rad. But I saw that and I'm like, yeah, wouldn't you need custom drivers? Well, apparently you do, and guys make those. Yeah. Of course, the demand for that is all for like these fucking AI data centers. Yeah. Yeah. Wild times. Oh yeah, I think I remember seeing the controversy around that, Chegg. Are you talking about build a data center near you? Oh, AI data center. Yeah, got it. Yeah, man. I wouldn't want one of those fucking things anywhere near me. From what I know about them now, I guess I'd rather be in the middle of the fucking city than out in the country and next to one of those. After watching that Ben Jordan video on it. And you know they have like all kind of bright lights and shit too. So even if you're there for the dark skies, they fuck up the dark skies too. Oh, don't worry though. They're gonna put the AI data centers in space. That's the dumbest fucking thing. Get the fuck out of here. Oh, we'll just put them in space. Give me more investor money, please. Thanks for the vent session, bros. Let's take a look at what I hope this image can look like. Let's try to get back on. I don't want to be the Mr. Complainy Guy Pants channel. But you know, sometimes you gotta. Yeah, if we just had the solar. I think I get what you're talking about regardless. I like it when I go to Astro Bin, the astronomy website, and I search for spaghetti. Yeah, so what I'm looking at is, oh, these are some nice images. Wow, these are pretty rad. Yeah, so I'm imaging this area right here where this, where the majority of the bright oxygen signal is. You guys see that? It's like rotated 90. Let me see if I can. Maybe this one. Yeah. Thank you for the link.
You know, I'm really puzzled.
Give that guy a watch. Yeah. Now it's on my history, so I'll. Yeah, so I'm up in this area right here. Yeah, so this could end up being a really nice. I'm gonna see if I can save this. Yeah. There you go. Yes. At least that way you can take out the energy on and you know murder some people, right? So yeah, that sounds good. All right, Chegg, thanks for being here, brother. Have fun murdering, and we'll see you next time. So yeah, okay. So this is the colors that my image hopefully will look like. Man, I hope there's this much oxygen in there. Maybe I should just try shooting an oxygen sub just to you know, just to see, even though there's, you know, full moon. But Yeah, so this bubble down here is really bright, and there's like a whole additional bubble here that's just oxygen, maybe. Yeah, and then so there'll be a lot of blue in here. So this will be a really nice. This is kind of almost the exact same crop or field of view, but just cropped in on the sides a bit. So that's what we're going for with this. That'll be fun. Just gotta hope there's frickin' no moon during the or no clouds during the next new moon sight. Yes, Ben Jordan is a rabbit hole journey. Yes, indeed. Yes, yeah. He knows how to make a good, compelling video to watch, too. Don't really know to what degree of a reliable source he is. You know, you always got to be skeptical about, you know, YouTubers. But he's just a YouTuber. He's not a real science researcher, right? And so you gotta take everything with, yeah. I mean, you know, you gotta understand that. You know, the YouTube algorithm is gonna feed you content that reinforces your worldview, and you know, so you see a guy like that, and you're like, wow, I kind of already agree with the types of things he's saying, so I'm gonna tend to agree with him and think he's a reliable source of information. I have a bias towards that, and you know. Just understand that it's, you know, it's good information, but don't necessarily lean on it. You know, don't make your decisions based on it. Birds storing data. Yeah, that was a funny one. Yeah. Using birds to store data. Yeah, this is looking pretty good. You know, maybe just a couple more nights on this. How much data did I have on there? Seven hours. So tonight might get like 4 more, maybe 5 more, 4.5 more. So, you know, 11, 12 hours of data on the HA is probably good enough. This is the this is with no noise reduction. There's noise there, but it's pretty smooth. So oh yeah, right on. So this is focal length is 600 millimeters, but with the small image sensor, it's a very narrow field of view. Does Stellarium? I think Stellarium will tell me the field of view. I may not have it set up exactly right. The rotation angle I have is 115 degrees. I don't know if that will translate the same to your rig or whatever. You're also shooting 600 millimeters? Or are you shooting the same image sensor size? So here's like the whole thing, right? And I'm in like this area here. So you can see how much of it I'm not getting. It does 1.4 degrees. Oh, so you'll have this like the exact same then. So I'm actually 95% of that because I have 0.95 reducer, so I'm slightly wider, but that's like a crop, like an edge crop factor, right? Yeah, so my field of view is 1 degree, 4.17 arc minutes by 36 arc minutes. So I'm roughly one degree by half a degree. My field of view. I think. Just gonna look at what's going on at 4:30 in the morning now. I think not much that I can image. Not much in the way of the cool emission nebula target. Oh, Ring Nebula might be coming around pretty soon. Yeah, I shared the preview image on Discord, Star Traveler, and so let's see, what's the weather looking like coming up tomorrow night? Really bad. Thursday night pretty good. Friday night might be bad. Saturday night not going to be available. And yeah, it's starting to get pretty good next weekend. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, let's see. What's this looking like? Looking pretty good. Good data. Not the best HFR. I've seen better HFR. Especially given the guiding. I might manually autofocus. Nah, it's okay. Whoops, I accidentally loaded sharp cap. Yeah, pretty excited about this one. But I think I'm going to wrap it up, the stream up for the night. I got to do a little bit of chores. Waiting for signals to get higher. Yep. Yeah. That's behind the trees for me until later in the summer. So our friend Mazif just posted a shot of the North American Nebula. I guess early morning you can get a little bit of data on that. Although still low in the sky, right? But yeah, it's not till kind of deeper into summer that I can get access to those targets because of these friggin' trees right here, which are really nice in the summertime because they're shade, but I kind of don't want them there, you know, because then I could do more imaging. So, but it's all good. There's plenty of this stuff to play with. Maybe I'll stretch this thing. Oh, you got some Eagle Nebula. Yeah. Wow. That is fun. Look at this when it's stretched. Add some contrast. That's looking pretty nice, huh? There's some nice oh yeah, there's some nice detail in there. Oh, that's gonna look pretty good. I like it. When you have such a cropped, such a narrow field of view, such a zoomed in field of view, you kind of get these, you can really play with these large targets like this and kind of have like a, you know, like an abstract art kind of view. And I feel like this is maybe allows you to be a bit more creative than just, you know, a big field of view and you just have the whole thing centered in the frame, right? So kind of just find the interesting areas and focus in on them. Maybe I'll save this one. Yeah, that one pleases me. This one pleases me. But I gotta remember the name. I keep wanting to call it like Siemens. No, it's not Seaman. Siamese? 147. How many hours did I say that was? 7 hours, I think. All right. Yeah, that's a fun start on that project. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap this up. Thank you for being here. You guys are awesome. Fun chats, fun ranting about AI. Feel free to post your AI fails in the Discord. I'll try to get the one about the screws I was talking about. Share those in there. Those are pretty good, kind of nuanced. If you don't know what you're looking at, you wouldn't realize that it's wrong, which is kind of an important one because, yeah, if you didn't know what you were doing and you asked AI, then it would lead you in the wrong direction. Could potentially cost you a lot of money. So, anybody on Twitch tonight to raid? We got a few viewers here. Oh, how about Ninja Gloppy? Why does it show? That's weird. I don't know, but let's raid Ninja Gloppy. Never raided him before. Thanks, guys, for being here. A fun one. I maybe will be on next Tuesday. Hopefully we'll have clear skies again. I'll have some more data. Ah, yeah, I was wrong about that. Yep. Good to know. Okay, guys. Peace out. We're going to raid in 9 seconds. I'll see you next time.